Well, I guess we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Good morning. This is call the meeting to order for the Floyd County Board of Supervisors reorganization meeting. And I guess it's 8:36. So when we do the minutes, we can remember that. And let's see, any volunteers for an opening prayer? Thank you, Mr. Cox.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, as we gather here on a new year, we just ask that you watch over and direct us. Thank you for the blessings and provisions that you prepared for us in 2022. We just ask you to guide and direct us as we move forward into this new year. Just help us with the decisions that we face and that we make, and just let us make the decisions that will be pleasing and honorable to you. Be with our citizens, watch over, keep them safe. We just ask for your help as we move into this year. Lead, guide, and direct us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All right. Ms. Becker? Of course. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the United States of and if it's not, I'll go ahead and call the roll. Ms. Bechtel, here. Ms. Coogan, here. Mr. Cox,
Here.
thank you. Mr. Booth, thank you. And Mr. Turner.
Here.
Oh, thank you. And then, okay, thank you. And we have a 4A, which is the approval of the agenda as presented.
Motion to approve.
Second. Yes, sir.
We need to actually permanently change from supervisor Yoder to supervisor Beckford. If you already got, okay, it's going on there. Okay.
All right.
I'm on the paper one time. So moved.
Thank you. All right. The motion to approve the agenda as presented. Mr. Turner?
Yes.
Ms. Cookenberg? Yes. Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel? Yes. And Mr. Cox?
Yes.
All right. Your agenda is approved. And now we get to the fun stuff. I did stay in Kenny all day yesterday, just in case.
You studied all day.
I do nothing. It's great. So first, I guess we need to look for election of a chairman for calendar year 2024.
So, 2024 chairman position. I'll second. She's going to say 28 and 68. I'm still doing as many as you can.
Nomination of Mr. Turman to be chairman of the Floyd County Board of Supervisors for calendar year 2024. Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel? Yes. Ms. Cookenberg? No. All right. And Mr. Turman?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right. On to it. So you are the chairman now.
That's really great.
Okay, all right. So now for the nominations for election of vice chairman for the calendar year 2024.
I make a motion for Jerry Booth to be vice chairman. No second.
Okay. All right. On the motion to to elect Jerry Booth to be vice chairman of the Floyd County Board of Supervisors for calendar year 2024. Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Turman?
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel?
Yes.
Ms. Cookenberg? No. And Mr. Booth?
I will abstain.
All right, it looks like we have Mr. Booth as our vice chair.
And before we go on, I want to say this, that, I've been looking at what I'm going to do in the future. And I was seriously debating, not being chairman again. But I know Jerry had people call him, and I had people public ask me who was going to remain what like we was. I said, I don't know, we have to get real active, whatever. They said, stay where you are at. So we're liking what y'all doing. Y'all did a lot this last year. I mean, we don't want to see any, change in the board. They want the board to stay like this. And it was a difficult year. Everybody knows that, I've had it thick skin. You got thicker this year. So,
I thought the years during the pandemic would be worse.
I will tell you, we still do it. Setting the time for 2024 regular board of supervisors meeting.
I make a motion that we meet on Tuesdays, on the second Tuesday of the month at 8:30 and the fourth Thursday at 6 p.m. Fourth Tuesday, thank you. Fourth Tuesday at 6 p.m. Second?
A motion to second. We call roll.
All right, on the motion to set the regular meetings of the Floyd County Board of Supervisors for the second Tuesday of the month at 8:30 a.m. and the fourth Tuesday at 6 p.m. Ms. Cookenbook,
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Booth,
No.
and Mr. Turner.
Yes.
And the only reason I'm voting no, I'd like to see that shift back to 7. It's just, so.
Yeah, I know, but
You'll make it. You'll make it. Sure.
but staff, it's really on staff.
That's the only reason I just go with this. It's the staff.
You guys need to do it, and I get it, because these folks work so hard.
I think it.
It's just, and I mean, some meetings we'd be out at midnight.
Maybe in April. Because you. We maybe will be spreading fertilizer and get our hay fields ready. And I don't know if hours in the day anymore. I older I get, the days get shorter. It's a rhythm.
Okay, we'll put a note to look at that in the spring.
Just if there's a case by case basis, I'm not objecting to that at all, but I'm just keeping staff in mind.
Thank you.
You consideration of the trees.
If it snows, we'll.
Within the climate.
You just want to mention that the fall Thursday in each case at the same time. The same Thursday in the same week.
I will second.
That's the second color.
All right, on the motion to set the dates for meetings in case of inclement weather as the Thursday following when we were supposed to have a Tuesday meeting. At the same time, we would have had a Tuesday meeting. Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Ms. Cookenberg?
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
And Mr. Turner.
Yes.
All right.
And the reason I said it that way, that fourth Thursday, depending on the month and how it hits, that next Thursday could be like tomorrow. So I didn't want to limit it to fourth Thursday because, so.
Then we'll take up Robert's rules of order.
And if I might, real quick, Mr. Chairman, we'll make sure to notate when we notice the public, if you like, about that you're staying with the second and fourth, 8:30 and 6, that we might revisit the time of the evening meeting in the spring to try to alert people to there might be a change in the future. So, Robert's rules, sorry.
Make a motion that we stick with Robert's Rules of Order if it's appropriate.
I'll second.
Motion second.
All right, on the motion to continue to use Robert's Rules of Order as our meeting protocol, Ms. Cookenberg?
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
And Mr. Turner?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
We've got Extension Leadership Council, your term on board, our supervisor, and that's Mr. Cox. You want to stay on that?
I'll be happy to.
I'll make a motion to leave Mr. Cox as our Extension Leadership Council representative for a 1-year term. Second.
Okay. On the motion to reappoint Supervisor Cox to a 1-year term on the Extension Leadership Council, Ms. Cookenberg?
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
I'll abstain.
Okay. Mr. Booth?
Yes.
And Mr. Turner?
Yes.
All right, approved. Congratulations.
Next is an appointment to Floyd County Public Service for a 3-year term, Board of Supervisor. And that's Brenda's position. You stick with it.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to appoint Ms. Cookenberg for a 3-year term to the Floyd County Public Service Authority.
And that's not supposed to read. Second.
Motion second. All
right, on the motion to reappoint Supervisor Cookenberg to a 3-year term as one of the Board of Supervisors members of the Floyd County Public Service Authority, Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel?
Yes.
Ms. Cookenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
And Mr. Turner?
yes.
All right.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I thought we weren't on at the same time.
No, I think I
took Casey's place.
what do you got there on that? I think we're staggered by a year.
Next year, Mayor.
I think maybe it is.
Mr. Booth, you are January 11th, 2025.
Yeah, so next year.
Term expiration date.
Yeah.
Next year.
Oh, okay. So it's a year stagger.
Yeah.
I guess I was appointed to finish out. Okay,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing.
sorry. I just.
That's okay.
It is nice.
You gotta get it right.
Need to get rid of that
Yeah.
The appointment of Floyd County Chamber of Commerce liaison. 1 term on Board of Supervisor and Supervisor Bechtel.
I'll make a motion to have Supervisor Bechtel remain at this position for the Chamber of Commerce liaison.
I'll second.
This is second call roll.
Okay, on the motion to reappoint Supervisor Bechtel to the 1-year term position on the Floyd County Chamber of Commerce and serve as the board's liaison, Mr. Cook? Cox, sorry. Yes. Bechtel?
Abstain.
Okay. Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Tobin?
Yes.
Okay.
All works.
Appointment of Floyd County Commerce and Development Council 2-year term. And yes, Ms. Bechtel.
So moved.
Second.
You're early now.
Those can come up next year. Now that we're looking through that second sheet of paper. Yeah. 25. 25, okay.
You gotta go by, you skip, you skip the planning and the.
No, I'm a check. Yeah. So
Mr. Chair, I can go ahead. On the, we skipped D, but we're gonna go back. On the motion to reappoint Supervisor Bechtel as the Board of Supervisors representative to the Floyd County Tourism Development Council. Ms. Bechtel? Stay. Okay. Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Ms. Cookenbook?
Yes.
And Mr. Terman?
yes.
All right, thank you.
All right, now we get her back on. You go on the Floyd County Planning Commission 1 year term. The supervisor really take my.
She-
Yeah.
I need more copies. Responsibility.
Everybody feeling behind. That's your yes.
Oh my, okay.
And now, I make a motion to appoint Ms. Bechtel to a 1 year term on the Floyd County Planning Commission.
That's the second.
Motion to reappoint Supervisor Bechtel to the 1 year term on the Floyd County Planning Commission representing the Board of Supervisors. Mr. Booth? Ms. Cookenbook? Yes. Ms. Bechtel?
Abstain.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
All right,
Yes. Rogers Workforce Development Area. Who's 40 on the board of directors, 1 year term, supervisor member. That was mine. You know what? I'll stay.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Point. Yes. Lord.
Making sure we don't change these minutes.
motion to reappoint Supervisor Terman on as the board representative to the New River / Mount Rogers Workforce Development Area Consortium Board of Directors. Ms. Cookenbook? Yes. Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
And Mr. Terman?
Abstain. Appointment of regional jail authority board 1 year term. One board of supervisor, member board of supervisor alternative. And that's me and Levi. I'm the member and Levi's my alternate. And I'll stay.
Yeah, I'll stay as
I'll make a motion to Mr. Terman be for the 1 year term as the board member, Supervisor Cox as an alternate for 1 year.
Second.
On the motion to reappoint Supervisor Terman as a member of the New River Regional Jail Authority Board for a 1 year term as a Board of Supervisors member and Supervisor Cox as his alternate for that position. Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel?
Yes.
Ms. Cookenbook?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
I'll abstain.
And Mr. Terman?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and we're assuming,
Yeah.
as you know, I currently serve as your alternate, Mr. Chairman, on the workforce development.
Yeah.
So we're assuming we take that up at the next meeting, but
Okay.
just wanted to clarify that if that's all right. Okay.
I didn't know you had a choice.
The name, it just says county administrator.
No, no.
And appointment to commission term Supervisor, that's Mr. Cox.
And,
That is Mr. Cox.
yeah, Mr. Make a motion for Mr. Cox to be on that appointment for the 1 year term. So with our original commission.
All right. All right. On the motion to reappoint Supervisor Cox to the new River Valley Regional Commission for a 1 year term representing the Floyd County Board of Supervisors. Ms. Cookenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel,
Yes.
let's see, Mr. Cox. All right. And Mr. Terman.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Appointment of Virginia Association of Counties VACO Legislative Contact, 1 year term, and Board of Supervisor member, and that's me. But I would think that I had a choice.
Make a motion for John to read.
Second.
All right, on the motion to reappoint Chairman Terman as the Floyd County representative, or sorry, Floyd County legislative contact for the 1 year term to the Virginia Association of Counties, Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Ms. Cookerman,
Yes.
Ms. Beckler,
Yes.
Mr. Booth,
Yes.
and Mr. Terman.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All of those we got, I think. Right.
I guess we take care of the old business and
Yeah, we could, and I know the chairman has been kind enough to allow us to add a couple of things. Business wise, as you know, normally you mostly just do what you do. But we have a couple of things that are very time sensitive, so we appreciate his indulgence on that. So the first item of old business is to hopefully have you approve with one change, getting rid of the date at the top and making appropriate date corrections. For you all to approve a new RFP for the county's radio system. And we'll just note for the public that at the previous meeting, we went public with you all's decision to move a different direction. And so this is the second step of this process. And for clarification, this is a substantially different RFP in terms of the requirements than was set out previously, and is hopefully a better match for what we need. It turns out we actually need in Floyd County.
I'll make the motion to approve the revised new RFP for the Floyd County UHF analog radio system replacement.
I second that motion. Gladly.
any other discussion? Good.
Did have some at least one question. I went through this last night.
Mhm.
This does not include any by the proposed contractors, any purchase of sites or anything. That's back on us.
Mhm.
We're retaining that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And as far as the towers, we're back to our original number, at least for this RFP. You know, the other one got scaled back.
Yeah.
Are we at the scale? And I apologize, I apologize for not taking the time and comparing to the old one, but
6.
Yeah, which is back to where we were.
That was where we were before.
You're-
6 towers.
I took the towers, okay, sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
And as far as some of the areas where we were talking about doing relays,
Mhm.
is that included in here? Because
Well, yeah, you mean the repeaters?
well, it would be hooked up to the citizens network, and then to a repeater, then a receiver. I'm talking about like down in the Allegheny, you know, where we
Right,
talked about
right.
possibly hooking up to the broadband.
Mhm.
And I apologize, I went through this real fast.
Yeah, well, it's been a long time since I've looked at it, so my apologies about that as well.
And it's okay if it's not, but I think what we were looking at was maybe not including that, and then we would work with citizens ourselves. I'm trying to remember the conversations.
Yeah, we had talked about that.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, yes,
I mean, I'm okay with it going forward.
yes,
I just wanted to clarify this.
okay.
So,
That's what it was.
yeah, so at some point, if we could just clarify that,
Okay.
don't want to hold it up at all.
Okay.
In fact, I was hoping it'd go out yesterday.
No snow.
No snow.
Let's see, well,
That was the only questions I could answer. I just wanted to make sure that.
Mike, we'll need to make some, I'll work with Steve about exactly what dates, but we'll make sure to try to get this out this week.
Yeah.
And probably a 30-day window.
Yeah, I would think 30 days would give somebody enough time.
I think so.
Yep.
So we would approve it minus any date there. That way you can put in what you need to.
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
No discussion, Colorado.
all right, I just want to make sure that was all clear. And thank you for those questions, Mr. Booth. I will clarify those questions, and if anything turns out to be not exactly as we discussed, I'll drop you all a note and make sure you all are good with it. All right. So on the motion to approve the staff to move forward with advertising our new request for proposal for the radio system for the Floyd County UHF analog radio system replacement, with some of the provisions and comments noted previously. Ms. Bechtel?
Yes.
Ms. Kuchenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
And Mr. Terman?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, and we'll get this out as soon as we can. Mr. Chairman, the second item, as you recall, we had originally planned to have a work session the end of December, and many things happened. And so there was a decision that we appreciate by the chairman to push that off until sometime this month.
I just figured you were going to have us move boxes.
Well, we did only use staff, so there you go. Just so, and I would just remind you as we look at calendars, of course, we already have a retreat scheduled on the 18th.
I might as well, I think it was 17th, we might as well just kind of talk about that and then go into our retreat. I don't know.
18th.
Yeah.
But I said, we have Munis training on, but what?
What day is that?
16th, should run on the 15th, and we have it on 16th, 17th. It'll continue on the 18th, but I will not.
Right. Okay, so 17th is out.
So for the subdivision thing, do Ladina and Carla have to be there on the 17th? No. Okay, so we could do that. We just have to, we'll figure out a place. If you want to do it the 17th, we could do it here, I guess.
Jenny, Nora can be there.
What?
The work session.
I don't know, this seems like a good time. It'd be fresh in our minds for the retreat, because I think some of what we discuss on the 17th will over into the 18th.
We're gonna have to have multiple meetings. Right? There's just so much in there we want.
Gives us an overview. To our retreat, with that kind of already percolating up there, then it will give us guidance to dive down into the nitty gritty of the retreat.
Available on the 10th.
Yeah, I think I'm available, right? No, I'm not. I have my other job.
You have a job? Where you have a meeting?
Most important job of my career.
As much as this one.
Yes. Other money or nothing.
That is good. Else I don't see anything. There.
So I can't.
There's a.
I could, well, I could do it 15, because she's just fine. It's holiday.
The 10th, that works.
Good job.
Okay.
What kind of time are you on the block off of this?
Personally.
Hours.
Yeah, I've noticed in the past, we go more than 2.5 hours, or 3. I know my mind is floating around and you sort of get burnt out, you know.
Yeah, social services.
I get 17.
12th.
More than her.
Okay, yeah. How y'all looking on the 17th?
Oh, we're back to.
Kim can't do this.
Right, but they don't need, it's just a work.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's all over you, Dave.
yeah, I can do it.
Be there.
That would be good to have.
Yeah, we probably would. I would think we would.
Yeah.
They don't have to be, but since they can answer the questions.
Correct.
It's that. Okay, I got them the day before.
We're on the 17th while they're here. A couple hours.
You know, say about 9.
Yeah, 9 is good. 9's good.
9 to,
Noon?
yeah.
We're gonna try noon on the 7th. 9. That's 9 to noon. And Kim was reminding me that Carla does have surgery the week before. So we're not sure exactly when she'll be back, but
Well,
just wanted to let you know that. Hopefully she'll be back and doing really well by then. All right.
And this will be just a work session for the board. It's not a public comment period or a public hearing or anything. This is just for us to discuss
If they want to listen,
the proposed.
they can listen, but behave.
Just
you can't be here. You send to run the planning commission, so if we need a clarification of what the planning commission is doing.
Yeah, so remember what you do.
She was very present.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So the 17th from 9 to 12, we'll do the subdivision ordinance work session. And that doesn't require weather permitting. Fair enough. All right, thank you. And then the next item that we have on the back is something 8A is what Mr. Booth, you had talked to both Ms. Cheeto and myself about.
I was just moving just more some of what I'm seeing. It's other people's crystal ball, but I was just thinking maybe to save a lot of time and a lot of hurt feelings. If we set a percentage to departments and various requests not to go over.
Right.
And then that reduces the filter system work a little bit. But, and I know some may disagree, but I see some type of recession coming, and I just don't know. I've never seen it present itself exactly like this, so I don't know.
It's fine like this.
No. And, I think we're better to err in the next budget on the side of caution than to bless you.
We better,
Yeah,
we got our backs against it.
you could figure out, exactly now that you've explained it in this manner. Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I agree that we are in a very precarious time. But if we do this budget max increase percentage, I really would like to put it with the caveat of don't think there won't be cuts. Because there's not a guarantee that it really is, yeah, right. The implied increase, but be prepared for.
And we get into this, other than, I mean, whatever states, whatever salary increases mandated, operational budgets may remain the same or less.
Yes.
And I'll just, and not any particular department, I'll just throw it out. If you bought a new printer in the current budget, it's gonna be there for the next one.
I just want to make sure that it's understood that this is not a. Right, and I'm getting to get it.
And there may be for obvious reasons, certain budgets that we increase more than they ask for.
If you go through that disbursement fund we get at the end of the year, lots of times you got departments that still got 50 and 55% of their allotted money.
Yep, they do.
Yeah.
And
So, what do you think?
don't want to get into it too hard, maybe, but we need to take a long, hard look at carryovers.
Mm-hmm.
We've always been very generous with that, and given some of the uncertainty, we may need to take a strong look at that. And we may need to be on a case by case basis, but still.
That still is, but.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about like a school system, Title I carryover.
Right.
I'm not talking about that kind of carryover. I'm talking about the carryover out of county tax dollars, not federal or state. Because if you don't carry over the federal or state, it goes back to them and they're not for sending them a penny. They give us no favors.
That we've always felt, and personally I have, and I think this board in general and the other boards that we've been a part of, it's not that we are encouraging use it or you lose it mentality. It's a matter of let's be as real as we can, the estimations and our budgeting to reflect how wisely we and seriously we take spending our citizens' tax dollars.
Well, and schools are a prime example. Debt service is usually paid off, and it's been usually the practice that money carries over, it's absorbed into operations. And it's not wasted. I'm not saying that. It's not misused. But you have to take a look at that and say, for this year, don't count it as if there's one paid off, don't count that as an automatic increase in the operating budget. We may have to pull that back.
You're talking about that recession, and I've mentioned this in the past, people talking on the public, and they said, you're looking at it all wrong. But I don't think so. Offering around $20 an hour minimum wage. The New York this morning said they are going as much as $17 over the next couple of years. A business cannot afford to pay $20 or $17 an hour, so they don't cut employees. So you're going to see unemployment go up. And the ones that do try to pay it, you're going to see prices go up.
Well, yes, I have to.
And, you got so many little bitty factors there that could just blow us all to pieces.
Well, the other thing that makes me nervous, when I see the big dogs selling their stocks and converting it to gold, they're going to take a loss. Or they're going to minimize it. It's weird. I've never seen it exactly like it is right now. When you see gold prices going up, usually the stock market's coming down. It's not. It's going up.
So what were you thinking? Did you have anything in mind when you brought that up, like a 5?
I was thinking about a 2, but after thinking about it, and some discussions with them, rarely do we see more than a two to begin with. Thinking of one night. I don't mean to make, and I'm not trying to make it hard on anybody. There may be some in the end that get to 5, there may be some that get to 2. But as far as their request, I just thought it'd be better if they shaved it down in the beginning versus it coming into us and then we ask them to go back. When I save us some time, save staff some time, and at least get them in the mindset.
I almost got run out of the room. And I was sitting where you said, and I made a comment that we should just raise the budget 3% across the board. And there you got it. Use it. Then if they need to increase, they can always come back to the board and, set it. But
Didn't go over, did it?
yeah, sort of like a lid balloon.
Maybe on somebody's list too. It's feel like the responsible thing to do is to bring it up for discussion.
Well, it says it's an action item.
They need instruction on what to send out to the people.
I guess it doesn't have to be a motion, it can be consensus, right?
I know y'all got it all on your plate. But could y'all sort of do y'all's magic stuff and see about what we could do and still survive, percentage wise? Am I asking too much?
Define survive.
No doubt in very step.
That's increase, because it's going to be very hard to get me to vote for a tax increase this year. We're going to have to work with what we got. So,
Back it out.
That's the only thing that would skew that, or the ratio, we'd probably have to have a plus minus a little bit, would be if there's anomalies that I'm not aware of, mentally that may, say this. Correct.
Yeah.
Just a moment.
And we can, there's our talk a little bit more when we do go meeting next week. Our hope is that this year people will be able to submit their budgets in the new system. And if that happens, then it also provides them with the space to provide an explanation for whatever they put in there. That would be a part of their submission. So that might be helpful. And I will tell you, we have also received most, if not all, of the requests from the outside agencies. And then we have on January 31st is, I believe, the day that we have the meeting where, all the different groups come through and talk about what they need and what the request is, community services and onward and all that. So.
Can I attend that meeting on the 31st for their presentations, or is it just a Zoom? Okay.
Zoom, but I think it's
Okay.
usually just a staff from all of the,
Just curious.
but we can ask about it. But yeah, it's usually the staff from everyone in the region.
I see.
And Montgomery County is kind of the host, but we'll check on that.
In years past, if we had any particular group, like say you want to hear from community services,
Right.
we could invite them to come over and actually make a presentation. I know we used to do it that way. I think you did that during your and Melinda's time as well. So if somebody,
That works.
that way, if that helps.
Yep.
And if there's particular ones that you know of, we can start getting in our head. We need to schedule them. We'd be happy with that.
Can we have their access to their applications online before we start budget work sessions?
Yes.
Thank you.
I actually already started a fiscal year 24, not in your shared, but that can be mine. So I can copy that folder right now. Well, when I get back and send it to you.
We're not overwhelming Yeah, so he's mailing them.
From services. And, I don't know, but everybody needs to hear exactly what that 10% number is through things, sending it out. And, you know, how close we are to that.
That was one good thing about Roseanne Sugg that was over there when I was there. She usually took care of that before it got to us. But yeah, Richmond always asked for 10%. Every year.
Well, it's a requirement.
Yeah.
Richmond started, so I didn't realize it, but for years they've been asking for a variance. And Richmond's been granted. Starting last year, they got very aggressive in discussing the variance. And that's what got James stirred a little bit was, hey, you know, all these years we may not get it, and if they don't send the money based on the 10%, then they're gonna be having massive layoffs.
Yeah.
But I will say nobody in the participants is hitting the 10%.
What you employing now? It was
It's over 800.
Yeah, it was 625 when I was there. So now it's been over 800.
I want to say 850, but I'm taking my time.
Right.
But it's probably pretty close to that. And we do have, I think the last time, we've got like 85 positions open. That we can, I mean, they advertise and nobody applies for. And that's the reason for that is in the colleges, the students aren't flocking to that area anymore. In fact, it's like they're running away from it. And, so some of the ones we have picked up, we stole from some of them, from some services and such. Occasionally they do steal ours back, so.
Another
We have been known to do that too, like once or twice.
Another thing that's bothering me is our social services is going to see an upkick in children. Because the more drugs that comes in this country, the more the problem is. So we don't end up raising children.
I think Mr. Booth, one of the things James was also going to check on is since they are going to be a part of the recipients of some of the opioid abatement funds, including your local match, would that start counting, and everybody in the region's local match, would that start counting towards our 10% or not? Because it seems like maybe it should.
No.
Well, it's playing it, but after that, then we're going to have to pick it up or it's a reduced, the tax dollars. But the first payment could be made out of the ARPA money. Well,
It's that opioid abatement,
the opioid abatement.
but it's gonna be coming, it's not just one,
Yeah, it's at least 2 years.
at least 2 years.
Yeah,
Something would have to.
yeah.
If you use that for recurring costs, then at some point it does have to pick it up. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
But that's directly why we went with this. Or what you're saying with children, and those are the costs.
Well, that raises another area that's going to increase is CSA.
Yeah.
In social services. And we have no control over that sector.
No. Well,
Chad's given me some, if I'm not mistaken, Chad's given me some names of folks to try to set up meetings month to social services and kind of his upline.
Good.
Yeah. Stuff like that and transportation.
Sure, that's the way.
That's all right now. That's where we gotta get it lined out.
Y'all think 1%'s too short?
At this
To
point,
start with?
like you said, it's not set in stone. If we, the staff come back and see a item that makes it a 2.5% increase and it's a warranted increase, then, yeah,
Right, this is no guarantee,
right.
Either way.
They're either,
guarantee or commitment.
right, either way. I'm okay with one.
We'll call it a consensus of direction to staff.
Yeah.
How's that? Okay. Perfect, thank you. The sheriff, we have one more item, and it is unfortunately spend money, but I'm not sure we got a lot of choice. So that's why we have Mark is here to talk to you about new to us, which I think is probably the better term.
And it is a pressing item.
It is a very much a
About 8 hours ago, actually, you worked that. It's shot up. I'm sure just here in the last.
That's a good amount of better.
That's fine, I'm just seeing where it was at, we're approaching them.
Yeah, we,
If it's not up to the others, what else is?
Thank you for everything in the packet. But it's still one of the jobs that I didn't. Because it's starting to can't wait. Maybe you'll say, okay, maybe you won't. Anyway, it is something we're gonna have to address. We have 4 trash trucks. But now we really only have. We got one.
I think that's stretching it.
If you want to see pictures, Mr. Danny can throw them up there. And y'all, it's the old truck's rusted out. It's, the rear end out of it. Is, you ever seen a dog run crooked?
Yeah.
Most of the axles on this truck here is, they're kicking back.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a safety issue.
Yeah, definitely. They get up to 285,000 miles. Oh, excuse me, 233,000.
he's not gonna make it.
But but we're just gonna try to save some money. Thought we'd just get repairs done to it, cause it's the old 6. You gotta use that old junk in the deal. But Mark Bauer looked at it and he said it's gonna go over $100,000. No, it's gonna get a fella to come look at it. And when he found out that the frame was swelled, it's a double frame inside the frame, all it's swelled, the rest of it kind of swelled. Mr. Bauer said, well, we know that half the bed's got to be the whole bottom, below the rail, round, and then the whole tailgate's right. So we're looking at $200,000.
I mean, to me, that sounds like you're throwing good money after bad.
Well, new trucks up in $400,000,
Understood, but
and then they got new laws are coming out. They're going to increase the fuel stuff, emission. And then, I think we bought the two, when the county bought the 211, we bought them the first year the emissions come out. And it was recall.
yeah, we know about that.
So Mr. Bow put me on this, he's told me before about this good deal. Instead of spending all this money on old trucks, we're gonna buy a new. New emissions coming out, having to deal with all that, we need another truck. So he found this on Gov Deal, and it looks like a pretty good deal. I mean, it's a bid, it's odd.
Yeah,
It's 2012, it's a 2012 Peterbilt front loader. It's got 73,000 miles plus or minus a little bit. Art Vine has looked at it. he was going down to Greenville, he's selling equipment, going to the beach, and he stopped and looked at it. He drove, took some pictures of it. He said everything seemed to be working good. And, he recommends $50,000 to buy the truck. I don't know whether or not, because a lot of people are trying to shake Floyd is looking to.
It's up to 4,500.
I don't think 50's gonna get it.
It is it.
35.
55. 55, yes, sir.
55, no.
There you go.
Dollars is the top end.
It ends at 35 PM Saturday.
That's fine.
That don't include the buyer's premium, doesn't it?
And then straight.
1,000 or give or take. You know, if I'll hit myself before somebody else hits me. If we bid and got it at 65 or 70, we're still coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't, you know, I thought the 50 was great if we could get it, but I think we, in my opinion, I think we should move on this
Absolutely.
and get involved in it. Whatever you got to do to get it set up, whoever to start bidding.
Do we have the ability to bid on it ourselves as local government?
Yeah.
Well, we could appoint somebody from the board, but they're still going to do the same thing we're going to do because we're going to set a limit. And I can't go over the limit for the actual auction. Now, I'm not including that 70, I'm not including 65, I'm not including the buyer premium or the amount to, if we use him. I'm not including that. I'm just talking about the actual bid on the truck itself. You know, even with the additional stuff, we're still coming out to the good.
Absolutely. If we can get this for under 100,000, we're coming out to the right. Absolutely.
Well, I wanted to say that, but I thought, well, I'll stop at 75 and see if anybody else goes up.
Sure.
It is a bit.
At this juncture, we need the truck. There's no way. That is definitely the definition of throwing good money after bad. There's no way that truck can be repaired. Because the minute you sink all the money into that,
It's gone. So
and so this, right now, I believe that these times where people are getting new trucks, they're probably using some of their monies, which they have to spend them on. And this is one of the things they may be spending it on. Greenville is a smaller entity. It doesn't have half the miles that we would have put on something like this because everything is all contained in its one, civic locality. I think we need to be watching this one go up. Well, I mean, I'm almost ready to go to 120, but I mean, you're today at 100.
Bunch of people sitting there with their finger over the
Yeah, that's exactly what we're on.
button.
Yeah. But it's great, you know that.
Yeah.
You know, it's on this end of the table now.
we get this truck. And I know it's not all the part of the problem with the trucks we had is just like my vehicle, everybody else's vehicle. This brine they're putting down in the winter time gets up under it. Have we in the past took and had these things cleaned and had them recoated underneath? Ever done that? I don't recall that ever
Not to
being.
my knowledge. We do have a steam jet.
And they do clean as best they can. But the problem, just like on my van, the rear wheels rusted out because they changed. The old vehicles used to come out and you had that little shelf. You could reach in there and wash it off. And some idiot got the bright idea to bring that thing all the way up and put one hole in the middle. You can't wash it out. And I was just thinking, it just hit me. Maybe it would help us. Like if let's say we get this one, we get it steam cleaned. And I know it's more money. But it could save us a lot in the long run if we started undercoating these trucks. Now, some of the others, I mean, it all depends. If undercoating is going to have pocket traps where you can't get through it, or then you kind of defeating the purpose. But as we go forward, let's say we do find a pot of gold and we buy a new truck. And that'd be one of the things we do to that new truck is undercoat the thing just like I would a car or a truck. I know it's going to be expensive.
Even just cleaning them regularly after snowstorms.
They do. I mean, our guys are,
Underneath.
yeah, that's where the steam engine comes in. I mean, they're very conscientious about this stuff. And they'll do it in summertime, especially if they get a container that's got something in it that might not should be, that we won't talk about. Yeah, I mean, I mean, people take share time, take care of what we got.
It's all road salted.
Yeah.
Because there's so much acid and waste,
Yeah, you're right.
and it runs down, drips down, gets in the cracks and everything. It's we'll say that.
But as I was just gonna make mention, I mean, I think we agree, we need a truck and the best value we can get. I guess my big question is, Mr. Bai has seen our truck that was on the, and he's seen this truck. The pictures on the .gov doesn't show rust except on the front bumper. Looks like that thing's pretty rusted out. But I guess he's inspected it and it's not near the condition as what our current truck is in terms of rust and so forth. Okay. But then my other question would just be, a new truck's 400,000. So we would sit here and think, hey, if we have to go 75,000, 100,000, it feels like we're getting a deal. But a vehicle that's used in a town jurisdiction, like with, say, police vehicles, for example, we would have a police vehicle in Christiansburg that would have 100,000 miles on it. That was 10 years old, compared to a vehicle in the county that had 250,000 miles. But sometimes our 100,000 mile vehicle in the town with a stop and go was in worse condition than the vehicle with 250,000 miles. So like this truck here is, the bumper rusted good, but the 6,600 miles a year is all it's being driven a year. So with Mr. Bai's $50,000 estimate of value, I just wonder if we're going to see transmission problems and some stuff like that in the future. Or if he's only, we would sit here and think 75,000, 100,000 seems pretty reasonable. But he's thinking 50,000 seems like a good value. I just wonder if there's a difference of why he thinks it's only 50 compared to, it seems like it could be,
Well, I can give him a call, he'll answer a question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we need something.
Yeah.
I just, well,
It is an auction, and you buy as is.
Yeah.
He said it broke,
Yeah, he drove it.
drove it, done a lot. And he couldn't find nothing wrong with it. He said, no, he would do the bid and pay for it, get refunded, and bring the truck up here for 10% of the cost. But if something happened, had to be pulled home, the county would be stuck with it. It's like when you buy any down big of a pole, the best knowledge.
the old truck rented it with it.
And really top elements. Maybe get some parts off.
Yeah.
How much money do you think we could salvage back? Yeah.
What's the salvage?
And
We'd have many working parts that we could put out, trucks. So
It just sounds,
it's like.
Yeah.
This truck is, you got this big wire on this is tied.
Do you have any picture of this apparatus on the top? I bet any further. But that's gonna be the next question. I think sometimes they attach the stuff somewhere. Did he check out the lift part? Is it compatible with our dumpsters? It is definitely compatible, because I know in years past, we got one or two that was close. Some of that was part of why some of our dumpsters were in the shape they're in. It wasn't exactly a match. This is way before your time. But yeah, that's the reason I'm just telling you why I had to ask. The one I didn't trust you. I just wanted to hear, yes, it will work with our dumpsters. Um, no, going to 100,000 is a fourth of the cost of a new one, but given the situation we're in, if we decide to buy, if we keep enough money to buy a new one, we're over a year out, aren't we? About 2 years out, and we're looking at that. I understand what you're saying.
Thank you. It's something we need to do. I just think there's, yeah, we can't,
Submission, you got,
because I know an expert this, you know, when he's thinking only worth 50. Me setting up here, that was the cost of a new one. I'm thinking, well, hey, if we can, like you are, if we can get this for 7,500, seems like we're making a deal. But is it only worth 50 to Mr. Buy?
It's in the starting bid, you know, that's a good question. Is max.
That's the only question.
He can say we get county conversion $50,000. Maybe more people look at it than.
Yeah, it's up to,
The question will be, what is the recommendation from the sanitation department? The conscience max, yeah, on behalf of the county. Yeah.
that's you.
Hey, I didn't interrupt you this time. Remember that. I didn't know. Well, I was talking to the ones who's using the tools, and that's to make the decision. And I'm not setting that at some hook or something. I'm just like, you know, just picking at it. So, sorry. And Chip's opinion of
He thinks it's a nice truck.
what that thing's worth.
he ain't gonna tell you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Rather not.
Well, I think it's worth going to see.
At least.
Yeah, there's no sense in going higher than you have to.
One way I look at this is if
Only one.
we go to win a bid at 70. And the next bid 69,500 and the truck don't work out for us.
Correct.
We can always do the same thing.
Right.
There was someone else who went it for 69,500. You know?
Yep.
Would you like to become more? Do you think it's worth 70?
What he thinks is worth,
What's his top?
period. If he was buying it for himself, what would be his max?
It hasn't been a bid since 7/19 this morning.
Okay.
He might be watching.
So,
He's digging through his paperwork.
Should we be talking about? Other thing. How much to bid? So,
no, I think we're covered. Yes.
we're not negotiating.
No.
Oh, so it's fine. Y'all just run with it.
There's no way you could not. I think you would. Very conservative, and he's like,
It's one of the
It's now market.
What's the car inventory look like?
We finally got them in the yard.
I would say, I wouldn't call that number 4, sorry.
And number 3 is questionable.
At the 2011, they get along. They've been in the.
So those 6. That's what
The ones on the camera were,
we got 2011.
you got 2011,
And then 16, 17?
the new one.
What?
So this would be our second used one. That would buy used by 1 year. Here. So what's the 2011s compared to this one? Instead of
The 2000, then the 2012 had an extra year for Peterbilt to get all the kinks out of
2011.
it, all the recall.
and our 2011s is Peterbilt's.
It didn't matter which truck it was.
How many houses is 2011 set?
I think they're pushing 80, 200.
So double, maybe double what this one is.
No, I'm asking a whole lot. It may be something we need to keep the eye on.
No, that's part of what we're treat. I mean, that's one of the things I'm looking at in our. Is
They do have a Ultra car, Ultra cab or something coming up in the next auction. But
so are you looking at these things now?
no, it was when Mark, and we got a problem with Mark said, I told you, look, keep an eye on that good deal. It's like, well, this Linda don't give me time to do anything.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna try it and then time.
We didn't get into it in the earlier discussion, but that may be an area of the budget where we have to look at, it may be more than 1% increase.
On the new one, wait a minute. This government admission junk.
Yeah, but I'm talking about doing this, like, finding time to watch for these sorts of things.
I think it's a great, I think it's a good idea. You give them under 100,000 miles, you get them for under 100,000 dollars. I think you're gonna be ahead of the game. I mean, this here, first thing Cheryl will do, if he can get it, is, change the front tire.
Right.
Like, I'll stop there and.
Yeah.
They got all the, here in Floyd, he was some big wide tires.
Absolutely. Good trip.
Save the truck and save, license, open them there now.
Right.
Actually, that's low mileage for his truck, ain't it?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
And we're talking about all the trucks. Could we take a look at that 2021 and maybe get an estimate for undercoat and what we might be able to undercoat
The newest one,
the newest one? I know it's
the least rust.
years old now, but that might save us some down the road. And this 2012 and these 11, I don't know that you gain anything. Whatever's there is probably already there on the
Looks like ST.
Yeah. Now, the undercoat, are you gonna take care of
Two
it?
that are holding this thing up
In the bed, we,
and see.
I is good enough of trash.
That's what I was saying. So some of those, they got stages of that undercoat that's different protected. I mean, it wouldn't be, I wouldn't expect it to be like what I would put in the water. They have different, I know they have different levels. Maybe there's a mid-range or something that might help protect with some of that.
We could sure look into it.
It was for the 2021 anyway, it might save some on it. If that stuff's already to paying off of the 2021, repaying this on a gain, but I was thinking, if we could get. All right,
What money we use for this?
the motor on this 06. This guy, right? I mean, it's been worked on every way it can be worked on, hasn't it? So the motor part's still good. What about the actual frame?
That's the green bills.
It's well.
That's kind of not.
The frame itself's what's failed. Okay, then forget it. So they're thinking, hey, we retrofit that with a roll-off, for roll-offs, but if the frame's already swelling,
What's maybe is Mark says it runs sideways like a dog in a hay or something.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all.
It moves back and forth.
maybe we can put another steering wheel like a fire truck.
I got to wrecked his car, his habitual offender wrecked his car. He had a option around the rear end to connect ratchet scrap to keep. No, it's more security. You can only get 10,000. You'd be surprised how they keep it right now.
The people you just threw under the bus.
You took it.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Say this since we're in open session. You need to take a hard look at that frame.
Yeah. Sit there here with the boulder.
And they need to pull it in.
They won't know that truck works for anything.
Minimum.
You could probably do one.
Then,
I lost you.
Retail will probably 125. Silver part.
right. How does the
Okay.
frame look on that? Is it good?
Yeah, the frame looks good on that truck, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
everything looks good except the bumper, you're a little rusty.
Very well done. Tell what it is. Good enough. Stand by. Fall investment tax. And it's all.
Okay.
Sell. I guess it's sell, but you have something wrong. I want you to not think so. Working on, very positive about what we're going to do. But as far as for rust and all in the unit, we don't have, what, they don't have down there what we have up here. Okay.
Appreciate it, Mark.
All right.
Thank you.
And I all of this cycle. So, you know, we're staging on it.
Thank you.
100.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would love to go for 75.
100 most. Yes. Well, unless we decide different.
What?
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the pictures and.
Yeah. Then put them with 10,000.
Mr. Chair. I got a question. Should we discuss the
Details?
Yeah, it was a public session of what we do today. So we're doing a closed session for this.
I would like to move into closed session so we can negotiate the details of this.
Which one will it fall on? Cause it's not,
Contracts, negotiations,
well, this is not,
the contracts, I mean, negotiations.
I guess would qualify, yeah.
You have a competing jurisdiction section, mention them. It's right there.
No, you could, since it's out there. The,
She's.
yeah,
Yeah, six, okay.
and six.
Under A6.
A6.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we go into closed session under A6 and the county administrator will give the definition. Assistant staff will give the definition.
So, the motion to go into closed session under A6, which is discussion or consideration of the investment of public funds for competition or bargaining is involved, where if made publicly initially, the financial interest of the governmental unit would be adversely affected.
Leading to investment in trash equipment. All right, so those motion by Mr. Booth.
Second.
No, I second it.
You say good.
We call roll.
All right. On the motion to move to closed session under A6 related to bargaining where the county's position being public might be a problem. Mr. Booth?
With Mr. Bolton into the closed session.
Invited to the closed session. Thank you.
Yes.
Ms. Kuchenberg?
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
And Mr. Turnbull?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Closed session.
Take a motion to come out of closed session.
Second.
Motion second, call roll.
All right, on the motion to come out of closed session, Ms. Bechtel?
Yes.
Ms. Cookerman? Yes. Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
And Mr. Terman?
Yes.
All right, we are out of closed session.
I take a motion certifying we only discuss those things we went in closed session for.
So, moved.
Second.
Mr. Second, call roll.
All right, on the motion to certify that we talked only about the things we were supposed to talk about in closed session, Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel?
Yes.
Ms. Cookenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
And Mr. Terman?
Yes.
All right.
Well, then, I guess if y'all don't have anything else. You have anything else?
No.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion to adjourn. Everybody said, yeah?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're feeling better.